Is this thing on? Hey, everybody. Welcome to today, or hey, house guests. Welcome to attempt number 2 at today's Big Brother 27 updates and spoilers. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that this stream is going to work better. Let me see. Let me give it a second before we start here to make sure that this is working. We're back. Yes, take 2. Hey, Robin. Hey, Yarn Angel. Hey, Cruising Girl 007 Nita Sosa, Miss DJ. Hello, everyone. Eric Barter. Is this better? We were having some technical difficulties. I think there was some sort of an issue with my internet connection here. Let me know. Are we all good to go? I think, yeah. Okay. Oh, Eric's going to Scotland on Wednesday. I'm so jealous. I hope you have an amazing time. It's all good now. Okay, yay. All right, so let's get started. So our house guest of the day. So nice that we get to mention them twice. We have Dawn Aikenhead. No? Oh. Is it okay? Okay. When I hear no from the other room, I get very nervous. Okay, just kidding. So we have Dawn Aikenhead. We have Fabio. When we wish him all the luck in the world as he begins his semester at Harvard. That's awesome. And we also have mine watching all the way from Morocco. And I'm hoping I said your name right. I'm so sorry if I did not. But okay, we're good. If you guys want to be house guests of the day, send us an email to madrosed@gmail.com and we will get you on the list. Just make sure you put house guest of the day in the subject line. All right, so let's get into it. When we left off yesterday, it was Waffle Wednesday. There were a lot of discussions about this upcoming vote. We've got Riley, Mickey, and Morgan up on the block. So no matter what, a big power player, big target will be leaving tonight. And yes, don't forget to hit the like button. Okay. There was a new alliance created the other day called the Judges. And it has 5 people: Rachel, Will, Ashley, Morgan, and Vince. So I'm skeptical about this group, of course, because it includes Vince. If it was the 4 people without Vince, I'd be like, yeah, this is awesome. But Vince is really stinking it up. This group has been comparing notes on Mickey. They know that they can't trust her at this point. She's been playing a sketchy game. However, this group's goal is to get Riley out this week. Or at least that's the goal of 4 of the members, right? All the other 4 people have been trying to get Vince on board, but he's Vince. So they're saying, like, yes, Mickey does have to go soon, but Riley is a more immediate threat. He is more dangerous right now. He's a stronger competitor. Rachel was really pushing the showman's angle. I mean, she knows from experience. She says the longer the showman's is there, the stronger they become. You know, their 2 becomes a lot more powerful as the numbers dwindle. They could have 2 players in the veto competitions. They're going to have 2 players in the HOH comps. There are 2 votes for evictions, 2 votes in the jury house potentially. And they will always pick each other over anyone else. So Rachel also brings up, if one of them makes it to the final 2, the other one's going to be campaigning for them to win in jury, right? Rachel has won. She knows that Brendan campaigning for her in the jury house was a huge part of her winning. So Vince is taking in all this information, and he seemed open to it when he was talking to this group, right? I mean, he is the mirror master, but we also saw him promising Riley that he would keep him in any potential voting scenarios. So it did seem like when he was talking to Lauren the other day, maybe he was putting out some feelers to see if she would potentially be open to voting out Riley, but it didn't seem like Lauren was budging at all. She wants to work with the showman. She feels close to them, and she would feel terrible if Riley were to leave because she used the veto on Vince this week. I don't know that Vince would flip his vote for Riley to go without Lauren doing the same, because these 2 are the indecision twins. I just don't see him going against what Lauren wants to do. Also, I just feel like Vince gonna Vince, right? But there was a lot of attention on Ava and her vote as well. What is she gonna do here? Unfortunately, even with Ava's vote, it probably wouldn't be enough to evict Riley because they would need Ava and Vince. If you look at the numbers here, Riley has Catherine, Lauren, Kelly, Keanu, 4 locked and loaded to go. You need 5 to do something this week. Mickey Mickey or Morgan, whichever one of them would be against Riley, they would have Will, Ashley, and then whichever of Mickey or Morgan wins the blockbuster. So that's only 3. So even if Ava were to agree to vote out Riley, that's 4. So then it still leaves Vince to decide what happens here. And Ava is not convinced that Vince would vote out Riley, even if he is saying that to some people. So she doesn't want to be on the wrong side of this vote. So she doesn't want to vote for Riley to go if she knows that Vince, who would be the deciding vote, would vote for Riley to stay. But all of this said, keep in mind, one of these nominees will still come off the block with the blockbuster competition tonight. Okay, so Morgan was campaigning her heart out to Ava yesterday. Morgan has been campaigning the most out of any of the 3 nominees. I feel like Mickey has barely been campaigning at all. Riley barely campaigning at all. But Morgan, she's really going for it. And it seemed like maybe she was making some headway with Ava yesterday. Morgan was pushing that even if Riley wouldn't target Ava directly, he would put up the people that she's close to. I mean, if you think about it, he's not going to be putting up Catherine. He's not going to put up Lauren. He's not going to put up Kelly. Maybe he puts up Keanu, but who's going to go up next to Keanu? It's going to be Morgan, Will, Ashley, Rachel, all people, well, some people that Ava considers close friends or allies, right? So even though he may not necessarily put her up, it's not going to be good for her. And also, I think that Riley would potentially put Ava up. He has spoken about her very unfavorably before. He is not Ava's number 1 fan, which Ava seems to think he is. I don't know. But Morgan says, if I stay and I win HOH, I'm targeting Keanu, Kelly, and Catherine. And she says, I would even take a shot at Lauren down the line because she says, I love her, but her indecisiveness makes it really hard for me. Yeah, that indecision is a lot. So Ava, hearing all this, is like, oh, frig, you're right. Oh, frig, you're making a lot of sense. Not oh, frig, but someone needs to tell Ava what Riley says about her behind her back, about how she just sleeps all day. She's not playing the game. Riley is frustrated that he's up on the block and not somebody like Ava who doesn't do anything. Someone tell Ava, please tell Ava challenge. But Morgan was also trying to campaign for Mickey to stay if Mickey's up against Riley. Obviously, Morgan wants to stay if she's against Mickey. But if it is Mickey versus Riley, Morgan says Mickey is not coming for us. She does not realize at this point that we're on to her. We know what she's been doing, so it's not like she's going to target us. But Ava tells Morgan, you're not going home this week, sister. I feel it in my gut. And she says, I think you or Riley will win the blockbuster competition. And she says, I'm going to see about sending Riley home. I need to talk to some people. I need to talk to Vince. Oh. So a little later, Ashley and Will are chatting. And Ashley says, if Mickey and Riley are on the block, Riley will go. And Will's like, I don't think so. He would love to see that happen, but he doesn't think that's going to happen. He says, I think Riley's going to have the votes to stay. And Ashley's like, wait, what? You think that Ava would pick Riley over Mickey? And Will says, yeah, Ava said that to me. She told me that. And Ashley's like, so Riley's going to stay over everyone? And Will says, yeah. That's what I'm saying. So Ashley's like, oh, nah. Ava must have some sort of a deal with Riley because we have his ass on a silver platter right now. And you're going to keep him? I know, right? It's pretty messed up. But a little later, Ava checks in with Will. And she lets him know again that she is leaning towards keeping Riley in all potential scenarios. She says, if I do end up keeping Morgan, it would be for your sake because I know that you would prefer to do that. And Will tells her, don't jeopardize your game for what you think that I want. Oh my God. Will, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Will to push a little bit here. I feel like Will just goes along with whatever anybody else is saying to him. And I feel like Will has good reads on the game for the most part, but he is not willing to speak up if he knows that the other person he's talking to is not 100% on board with what he's going to say. And it's very frustrating because I do think that he could have some sway here with Ava, but he's just not doing anything about it. So Ava says, Riley's going to protect me. I don't think so. I don't think he is. And she says, Mickey and Morgan have both said in the past that they would put me up as a pawn or whatever. And she's like, I don't want to look like an idiot. I don't want to vote to keep them. And then one of them puts me up on the block. Girl. So Will tells her, keep thinking about it, sleep on it. Again, Will could definitely be doing more here. Like anything at all would be nice. Anything more than what he's currently doing, which is nothing. So meanwhile, Vince and Lauren are chatting about the vote. And Vince is like, oh my God, what if Rachel sees us talking? And Lauren's like, I don't care. Oh my God, so brave of her. She doesn't care if Rachel sees them talking. Oh my God, she's really stepping it up. But they agree they want Mickey to go above anybody else this week because Mickey and Morgan have seemingly made up with Rachel, at least for now, and they feel like that is not going to be good for their games. They want Mickey and Morgan and Rachel targeting each other. So if they're not targeting each other anymore, it's bad news. So Vince is saying he really does not want Mickey to win the blockbuster competition because if she is safe, that's going to lead to his worst case scenario, which would be Riley versus Morgan on the block. He's like, it's going to be so hard for me. He's being so whiny. But he says to Lauren, I'm going to do what you want. I mean, you made a selfless move using the veto on me. You saved me with the veto. So I'm going to do what you want with this vote. And they agree that they will keep Riley against anybody. If it's Mickey versus Morgan, they want to keep Morgan. All right. So then Ashley checks in with Rachel. And Ashley's like, I don't know. I've seen Ava talking an awful lot with Riley and Catherine lately. And she says, my gut is telling me that Ava made a deal with the showmance. The sad thing is, Ava isn't even getting a deal out of this. I mean, it would at least explain things a bit more if she made a deal with them and that's why she wants to keep Riley. But, like, she's not getting anything out of this. Rachel's like, I don't think Ava made a deal. And Ashley says, there has to be a deal. Why else would you keep a big target like Riley if we have the chance to take him out? I know, right? Ashley brings up that Ava is pissed that Mickey said that she would put Ava up as a pawn in the future. And they're wondering, why would Mickey say that? What was she thinking? What possessed her to tell people she would put them up before she's even won HOH, right? Yeah, that's nuts. That's really dumb. So Rachel asks, why are these people so bad at Big Brother? Seriously, I feel like there are more house guests this season than ever before that just like don't have a good grasp of the game or like how it works or like what's a dumb thing to do. I mean, we've just seen dumb move after dumb move this season. Like, I feel like this season has more dumb moves than multiple other seasons combined. It's crazy. So Ashley also brings up our people that we've been working with have been in power for the last 3 weeks now. I mean, we had Mickey, then Ava, and now Rachel. And she feels like they're in the same position that they were before they had power. And Ashley says that's because our own people have been making the wrong decisions. Yeah, I mean, Mickey, she went nuts. She took out Jimmy, her own ally, her number. Ava, I think Ava's HOH was a success in the long run. I mean, taking out Zach was a big deal, right? And she broke up that power group quite a bit. She shook things up, showed people that it's okay to do stuff like that. So I think that was good. But Ava was like not a great HOH as far as like talking to people and getting information and being involved in the vote. No. But and then Rachel, I think again, Rachel is making a really strong move here, trying to take out Riley. And you would think that with Riley on the block, people would be jumping at the chance to take out a player like that. But these people are just, there's not a lot going on up here. So the feeds went down for a few hours for the halfway party last night. That's right. We have officially made it more than halfway through this mess of a season. Pat yourself on the back. But when the feeds came back after the party, Rachel's talking to Ava in the HOH room. And Rachel is doing her best to explain why Riley has to go this week, right now, when they have the chance. She says it is going to be so hard for us to split up Riley and Catherine moving forward. The numbers are going to dwindle. Their two is going to become more and more powerful. And Ava says, I know that Riley is a big threat. But she says if Keanu wins HOH, and there's a good chance he will, he's a strong competitor. If he wins, he will take the shot at Riley. Keanu taking the shot at Riley. Has she been paying attention at all this week? Riley and Keanu are like best friends now, or at least that's what Keanu thinks. Riley is Keanu's best friend in the house, but Keanu is not Riley's best friend. So if Keanu were to win HOH, he is not looking to target Riley. No freaking way. Didn't she see how pissed Keanu was when Rachel put Riley on the block? I don't get it. But Rachel says no. Keanu said he wants to keep Riley until the final four, which is crazy. Yes. And Ava says, I don't know. Keanu's kind of a liar, though. So maybe he's lying and he would put Riley up. I mean, has Keanu been lying a bit lately because he just discovered lying? Yes. But like he does it in a for fun way almost to mess with people like Ashley or Mickey. I don't know. So Ava says she thinks that Vinny will be voting to keep Riley. So she doesn't want to stick out her neck for Mickey if it's Mickey versus Riley. And that's one thing, right? But Rachel's like, if it's Riley versus Morgan, she does not see Vince voting Morgan out because those two are supposed to like have a final two. They're super tight. And Ava agrees with this. She says, yeah, you know what? I don't think Vinny would vote out Morgan. But she's wondering, would Morgan even have Mickey's vote? Because Mickey has floated the idea of voting out Morgan to keep Riley. She is obsessed with Riley. But Ava says at this point, she is 90% sure that if it is Morgan versus Riley, she will keep Morgan. Oh. But again, she's saying if it's Riley versus Mickey, she tells Rachel, I am thinking about keeping Riley. And Rachel's like, why? Because we would have such a better chance of beating Mickey in competitions than we would against Riley. So Rachel's pulling out all the stops here. She's counting votes with the fake cherries from the HOH room. But Ava is just bringing up all these points. She's scared about pissing off Riley's side of the house if she votes for him to go. And she says like, okay, so I piss off all those people that are good at competitions. You know, you got Keanu, Kelly, Catherine, like Lauren, they're all going to be pissed. And then this side is a freaking mess. She says Mickey is effing nuts. Ashley is a chatty Cathy. She loves calling Ashley a chatty Cathy. Morgan was planning on putting me up. She's so stuck in the past. But Rachel breaks down how the other side is also a mess. Kelly, she lies about everything. Keanu is also a liar, she says, and he's all over the place. She says Lauren is indecisive. It's painful to watch. And Kat is going to be on an island if Riley is gone. She's going to be so much weaker without him. She says if we take out Riley, that is going to break up that whole group. And I would agree to a certain extent. I think Riley is kind of the gross glue holding that group together. I do think that some of them would still work together for sure, but like that would be a major hit for that group to lose Riley. So Rachel's also pushing. Riley, of course, is in the showmance, but Riley is also now super tight with Keanu, and those two need to be split up. She says those two are also comp beasts. They're basically a strong 4 at this point because it's Riley, Catherine, Keanu, and Kelly. That group needs to be broken up. So it's a lot for Ava to think about. So Ava and Vince are chatting about the votes, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe that it like basically comes down to us this week. We're going to be the ones deciding who stays and who goes. So they go through all the different voting scenarios, and 2 of the scenarios they're 100% agreed on. Super easy for them to figure out. They agree if Mickey loses the blockbuster competition, they want her out. So if it's Mickey versus Morgan, Mickey goes. If it's Mickey versus Riley, Mickey goes. But if it's Morgan versus Riley, if Mickey wins the blockbuster, this is where they're like, I don't know what to do. So Ava tells Vince multiple times in this conversation that she would want to keep Morgan over Riley. Oh? So, and Vince is like, yeah, I'd be down with that. I love Morgan. Morgan's great. But then he keeps bringing up, like, oh, but like, if we keep Morgan, who's going to be mad at us? Let's talk about who's going to be mad at us. So he says, all the comp beasts are going to be mad at us. Kelly, Keanu, Catherine, like they're all going to be mad at us. But if we vote out Morgan, then the people that are mad at us are not as good at competitions. Vince is also saying Riley would not put us up. Again, I don't think that's the case for Ava. No way. He says the showmance is going to be a shield in front of us. I don't know why Vince wants to work with all these comp beasts. I guess he sees them all as shields, but like, who does he think is going to take them out? Because Vince is not great at competitions. So like he's gonna need somebody to be making moves against them. I don't know what he's thinking. But he's trying to convince Ava nonchalantly that they should be keeping Riley and not Morgan. So at one point Ava's like, well, we can't really make a wrong decision in this game because if we're meant to win, we'll win. What is this? What is this? So like it's all predetermined. Nothing that you do in this game matters. If you're gonna win, you're gonna win. I will say that there's a huge amount of luck involved with winning a game like this, but like you gotta freaking make some decisions here. Oh my God. So anyway, eventually they decide if Mickey does win the blockbuster, they are gonna find each other right away. They're gonna meet up and they're gonna talk and they're gonna go with their guts on what they want to do. So whatever. And if Mickey loses the blockbuster, she's gone. They're voting her out either way. Okay, so Ava checks in with Will again after that, and she lets him know she will be voting Mickey out in any scenario. And she says Rachel's going to be mad at me for that, but if Rachel wanted that showman split up, then she should have put Riley and Catherine both up from the start. And if she didn't want Mickey to go, she shouldn't have put her up on the block. So Ava is just saying, like, I will not be able to live with myself if I keep Mickey here and then Mickey wins HOH and nominates me and I go home. So she's like really stuck on Mickey potentially nominating her. But like she's not seeing that there's a huge chance that Riley would also nominate her. I don't get why she thinks Riley is going to protect her because I'm not getting that vibe at all. But Ava, yeah, she's saying, at least in this conversation, she's not really talking about Morgan, but she's saying Mickey, she's willing to vote out. And again, Will is just like, okay, no pushback at all. Will, what are you doing? So today, this morning, Ava was telling Will, you should probably get in good with Riley because he has the votes to stay. Boo! Also, okay, so like the feeds went down for the camera blocking rehearsal and all that. And when they came back, Vince is just going around crying to everyone about how hard this decision is for him, especially if it is Morgan versus Riley up on the block. He doesn't know what he's going to do. So he told Ava he feels like it's better for his game long term to keep Riley. He's like, Morgan, I want to keep her though. Like, she's such a good friend, but she can't protect me individually. Okay. Rachel was still trying to lock in Vince's vote for Riley to go. And she's saying, like, if we get this chance, if we can get this shot at Riley, if he does not win this blockbuster, we got to take the shot because we might not get this opportunity again. Vince in this conversation is already trying to blame this on Ava, saying, like, oh, well, I think Ava wants to keep Riley, so he's already going to have the votes. Should I just like vote that way? So I'm like with the majority. And Rachel's like, no. She says Ava is going to vote out Riley. But Vince is also saying if I keep Morgan, I'm potentially going to lose 3 jury votes because Catherine, Lauren, Keanu, Kelly, like he's saying all these people are going to be mad at me. So what am I to do? But he's like crying all afternoon. Vince also promised his vote in any scenario to both Riley and Morgan. So I guess he's really banking on one of those two winning the blockbuster so he can just vote out Mickey and then that's that. Because like if Mickey wins the blockbuster, he's gonna be in trouble. But we'll see what happens. The blockbuster competition tonight, we saw the preview and it's basically a crapshoot because it's the one where you got to roll your ball down the windy plank and you have to try and lock in the highest score you possibly can. The further you get down the plank, the higher the score. And you have 2 minutes to lock in your best score. And it really could be anybody's game here. I don't know what to say. The way that it stands now, Mickey leaves unless she wins the blockbuster. But if Mickey wins the blockbuster and we have Riley versus Morgan, it feels like it's technically still up in the air, but I feel like we're leaning towards Morgan leaving, which I think would be an absolute shame for us viewers, but also I think it would be a very dumb move on both Vince and Ava's part. Very dumb. Yeah, and then after tonight's eviction, it's a crucial HOH. I don't know what the competition is. I don't know if it's wall. I don't know if it's something else, but we'll see. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I also want to give a special thanks to our super chatters today. So, Connor Benson, oh my goodness, you were always so generous with us, and we appreciate you so much. Connor says, strategically, I need Mickey out. I'd be fine with Mickey going. I just hope that Riley is going to stay on people's radars. She's been a mess since her HOH week, and no one is taking her seriously. But for my sanity, I need Riley out. He makes me ill whenever he's on my feed screen. Plus, he only knows 5 words for his vocabulary. Yeah, and like 4 of the words are variations of the F word. Seriously, I get it. Like, as much as I would love to see Mickey go, I also would prefer to see Riley. I just don't know how realistic it is. But yeah, my number one goal for tonight would be for Riley to go. It would just be amazing. Thank you, Connor. And Connor also says, can someone please wake Grandpa Will up? He needs to kick it into high gear at this point. No more head nods. Start making moves, sir. Yes. Did I enjoy the segment on last night's episode about him just zoning out in conversations? I did. But also, I would love to see Will actually step it up because I do think that he has good reads. I do think he has good ideas, but he needs to assert himself more. He needs to play a bit more. Because at this point, he's just letting things happen. He's being very passive about it. And it's going to get to a point where it's him and a bunch of comp beasts left, and they just take him out. So he really needs to like make some moves here or he's going to be in trouble. Benjamin, thank you so much for the super chat. Benjamin says, I saw the blockbuster comp and I'm really worried for Morgan. I know. If Mickey wins, Morgan is toast. Also, is wall comp confirmed for HOH tonight? I haven't seen any confirmation. I know it was rumored a few weeks back and it seems like it was supposed to happen and then they switched it up. So I don't know at this point if it's going to be a wall comp. I feel like the backyard has been closed, right? So it's possible it is. I could definitely see it. I never thought I would be saying this, but I'm rooting for Morgan to win the wall comp if it is in fact the wall comp. I was so against it because she has just talked about it so much and I was so annoyed with her. But now, like, I feel like Morgan's our only hope in the wall comp. And I do think that she would make a good move if she were to win HOH at this point. But yeah, Blockbuster tonight is really anybody's game. So we'll see what happens. The CAC 16, thank you so much for the super chat. We really, really appreciate you. And thank you for the tip that you left us the other day as well. That was awesome of you. Robin Hood, thank you so much for the super chat. And they said, thanks for keeping us informed on this crazy season. You are so welcome. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys are the reason that we keep doing this. All right. I'm gonna go. I need some crochet time to unwind before tonight's episode. So thank you all so much for watching. We will see you later for the episode recap. Keep your fingers crossed. And until later, much love. Bye, everybody. Bye.